Our policies are very simple. Our battle cry is land, jobs, and stop load shedding. So we seek to expropriate land without compensation, because the land was never compensated when it was taken. And someone says, no, don't scare investors, but even investors are scared of the truth, they can run. The reality is this land was stolen through the wars of dispossession, and people were killed. And the only way to reverse that pain is to restore the land back into the hands of the people. This will not be done through the army. It will be done through constitutional consultation. We want all of the land to be in the hands of the state, so that when the state wants to make an allocation, there is no difficulty.
We are looking to get your ideas as far as what you are going to bring into the coalition partners at national level, given that you are already in some municipalities and metros and coalitions. What are you looking to bring from an economic performance perspective? Who are you willing to go into coalitions with? What are your conditions? So that investors that are on the line, they can get informed in terms of what they are likely to face as they deploy their capital in the economy.
If I said to my brother, we may not be friends with RMB or any of the capitalist institution, but we coexist in the same environment, and we ought to understand one another, because our ideological differences shouldn't mean enmity. So we don't see RMB, whatever other financial institution, as an enemy. We see them as institutions that needs to be transformed. Our policies are very simple. Our battle cry is land, jobs, and stop load shedding. So we seek to expropriate land and without compensation, because the land was never compensated when it was taken. And someone says, no, don't scare investors, but even investors are scared of the truth, they can run. The reality is this land was stolen through the wars of dispossession, and people were killed. And the only way to reverse that pain is to restore the land back into the hands of the people. What happens to these beautiful buildings that are on top of this land? They remain RMB buildings, but this is our land. They should know that their building is sitting on top of our land. And if they decide to do anything on this land, which is not in line with what they occupied the land for, they should seek permission from the state. If they no longer have any use for this land, they should report so to the state, so that it can be reallocated to an alternative person who will put this land to use. This will not be done through the army. It will be done through constitutional consultation, because our constitution allows amendments. So if you do, because if all of you, when you argue, you say, follow the constitution. We've got the best constitution in the world. But when we follow the constitution and amend it, it is a problem when it's not favorable. So we want all of the land to be in the hands of the state, so that when the state wants to make an allocation, there is no difficulty. Today, everything else is cheap except the land. It might be very expensive to buy this land and very cheap to build this beautiful building. Why should it be? The land must be available to those who are going to use it, and those who don't use it, they must lose it. Someone says foreign direct investment does not invest where it doesn't own the land. It's not true. All special economic development zones in South Africa, the land is owned by government, and foreign investment put its investment on the land that is owned by government. So it shouldn't be inconsistent argument that no, when the state owns the land, the people will not invest on that land when they are investing on it now. If there is any economic development happening in any big economic development zones, go and check the ownership of that land. It's a state-owned land. We need to do jobs. You cannot do jobs without industrialization. We need to industrialize. Even the Bantustan, the smallest states of black people during apartheid, they had factories. There is no single Bantustan leader, be it Mangope, be it Nsangwisi, be it whatever, including Buteles. All of them, if you go into their areas, they are industrial sites during apartheid by Bantustan government. Tell me now of any industrialization that has been state-led, and then we complain about jobs. Very rich in minerals. All those minerals are extracted from our land, and they are put on top of a truck to Richards Bay. When you look at that, you say, no, it's chrome. It's not chrome. It's jobs in a truck transported to China to go and do job creation in China. Because that chrome, when processed here, we don't even clean it here. So when processed here, you can imagine how many jobs can be done. So we need state ownership of the mines. So when we say nationalization of the mines, we don't mean we're going to take a mine of Anglo-American and nationalize it. We mean the state must have its own mining company, which will be given preference, especially on profitable minerals. Let's go to Mokopane, for instance. The platinum in Mokopane, Anglo-American is no longer mining. When it gets mining rights, it outsources the mining to other companies. But Mokopane, they are mining it themselves directly. Why? The platinum is just here. It's the most profitable mine of platinum. And that, if was owned by the state, how many jobs we're going to create with that money of that platinum alone? How many social responsibilities can we attend to with that money alone? How do we do that? The state is not driven by profit. The state, with its money, is able to reinvest in the social well-being of our people. Let's take diamond. De Beers says we cannot touch diamond. Those are the Oppenheimers. They go to Botswana. They give the government of Botswana 50% ownership of the diamond. When it comes to South Africa, the same company owned by the same people are refusing to do that. What does the government of Botswana do with the 50% profit they make in the diamond? They invest it in the social beings of the children of Botswana. All children of Botswana, everywhere in the world, get a stipend every month. When I was in Washington, D.C., some other time in my previous life, in a wrong organization, I happened to come across the Botswana students and I sat with them. At that time, they were getting 5,000 rand, apart from everything else being paid for. 5,000 rand. My mother went to the grave without earning 5,000 rand. Students are given 5,000 rand from minerals.
There you have it, guys. Julius Malema is usually full of these revolutionary speeches. Sometimes you wonder where he gets them from. But whatever the case is, we really hope that his wisdom transcends, and really contributes to the development of Africa and in helping solving Africa's really myriad of challenges. But what do you guys think about his speech? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please share and like and subscribe, because that's the way you support Kwazemi as a channel, an Afrocentric channel, where we try to understand deeper issues in African history and hopefully develop a collective intelligence on how we wish to build the Africa we want to see as people of Africa. See you in the next one.